It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are watching God, Sex, and Love. Today we're going to have a conversation with a co-ed panel. We're going to discuss relationships and abuse. So if you guys are ready to dive into this conversation with us, stay tuned.
It's a miracle, baby.
Yeah.
Miracle, miracle, cheers. Miracle, miracle, cheers.
Welcome back to GSL. As you guys can see, I have a lovely panel of participants with me to discuss this topic today. As you guys can see, we have Mr. Ronyai Hawkins on the line.
What's going on, beautiful people?
We also have Regina on the line as well. Looks like she's on the go.
Hey, it's your girl Gigi.
And last but not least, we got the bad guy, Newman. On the If you heard this guy on the podcast, you guys know exactly why I'm saying that. Welcome to the TV show.
Hey, yay.
So friends, I won't be long your time or anything like that, but basically, you all know that we're going to talk about abusive relationships. So, I don't know who wants to kick this thing off. What do we have to say about abusive relationships today?
I feel like I'm abused by you sometimes. Let's just start it off right there.
I actually witnessed this today. I witnessed it.
I guess
See, you got witnesses, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess it's this brother-sister bond that we have. I don't know, but I mean, listen, we've addressed this already. I think this is just what it's going to be. So, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to help the people talking about, the dynamic. I mean,
I agree. I digress, but you're right.
Anyways.
Yes.
That's a whole nother topic, guys. I mean, well, okay, I'll start it off then. I'll start it off real right here since, I got people that want to play on the line. Okay, no, but all jokes aside, I guess I have been in a mentally and verbally abusive relationship, and I would say that could be just as bad as a physical relationship because it kind of takes a toll on you, mentally and everything like that. And it was kind of I say a struggle to get out of, but it definitely got me in a place of feeling like I was unfamiliar with myself, feeling like I didn't recognize myself anymore. I had to do things like keep notes and email myself just to kind of gather my own thoughts because I was just so, I guess, bombarded by the person and their opinions and their unsolicited opinions or their ongoing critiques of me. And of course that relationship did not last, obviously. But yeah, so I guess I can come from that perspective. But I mean, well, has anyone else been in any type of abusive relationship?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Regina. Ladies first.
No, you can go ahead. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
I was in a physical and verbally abusive relationship. And something my mom taught me, if you get hit, you hit the person back, right? So I'll just say, kind of it started because, collecting my thoughts. It came out because this individual, he actually was an alcoholic. So I did not know that he was an alcoholic, and I didn't know he was abusive either. I remember one time smelling, like, you know how people could drink so much that the smell come through their pores. And I
Yes.
remember smelling it, and I said something about it. And you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a drunk. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm like, okay, anytime you feel like you need to go get something to drink to cope with the day or whatever like that, that's just a little start. But coming to find out, this was a hereditary situation. But nevertheless, he became very physically and verbally abusive, more verbal than physical. And I had opportunities to just leave him alone, didn't, because I was like, well, I can verbally abuse you just as much as you verbally abuse me. I got a smart mouth too. Don't, I'm going to get mine in. But really, all of that, for what? It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of really who you are, allowing somebody else to take you out of character. Then on top of that, you, like you kind of said earlier, forget who you are. And it's like, why am I dealing with this? Why am I putting up with this? One is because of our identity crisis. And truth be told, the pickings or selection of men out here are not where it used to be. Don't look at me like that, Neil. I mean, I'm just being honest. This was years ago, though. This was how I was thinking. I haven't been in one since because I know my worth. I know that I'm not going to tolerate anybody putting their hands on me or treating me less than what I should be treated, which is with respect. I'm a queen, and I deserve to be treated as such. So, that was my experience.
But I would say for me, abusive relationships come in many forms. You have family dynamic, you have friendship dynamic, courtship dynamic, which goes into possible engagement, possible marriage dynamic. There are different levels to this. I, for one, have personally experienced abusive relationships on many different levels, even throughout family. A lot of it has been through psychological forms of manipulation, gaslighting, narcissism. Then you have the verbal abuse, like Regina said earlier. People trying to tear you down, tear your self-esteem down, tear your character down, who you are. And then also, a lot of people overlook these two other factors of abuse. Financial abuse from your spouse, from your boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you also have, of course, church folk as well. Spiritual abuse. And I have witnessed a lot of these different factors growing up. And I'll be honest with anybody here that my dynamic between myself and my biological father wasn't really that great. I've witnessed from him a lot of psychological abuse, manipulation, a lot of deceiving, and also a lot of spiritual abuse, covering things up in the name of religion and not actually having a relationship between your father and son, or even when your son grows up to becoming a man, or even when your daughter grows up to becoming a woman. They want to have that relationship very healthy. Now, to anybody, don't allow anybody to, like Regina said, take you out of your character. You got to know who you are, and your identity is very, very important. I came to a place where I would always seek validation from family members, because you have a certain amount of friends. You have those friends that we all grew up with that hang around you, but it wasn't for the sake of that they loved you. It was for the sake of you want to benefit from you. That's not, a friendship or a relationship. That's just really abuse on the concept level, and it's never fun. We have to get to a place of maturity. Through those experiences comes a lot of wisdom in that as well. And I would say, be good to yourself and love yourself. And just like what Regina said too, you find out later on that you identify the root to those matters within those individuals, yes, it is very generational. And a lot of people, especially within our communities, black and brown communities, we don't want to fully address those roots to those issues as well. So love yourself at the end of the day. I would rather be by myself with a goldfish named Penelope and a dog named Rufus before I even get into another relationship with somebody else that's going to dog me out who I am. And then, and for me, I am a single individual, I'm a single guy. So I've dealt with different levels of, dating, and there are some women out there that still suffer, with different levels of abuse, and they don't even realize it, that they're taking that form of abuse as baggage and dumping it on to brand new individual that they're trying to talk to or engage in as well. So you have to be careful with that. So love yourself.
That's some good stuff that Ronyai has said, because what it boils down to, ultimately, to me, in my opinion, it boils down to one, loving yourself, but how did you grow up? If you grew up in a household with a single parent, and let's say that single parent was doing everything that they can to show you that they love you, or maybe they were abusive towards you. But let's go with the positive one. So they're showing you everything that they possibly can to show you that they care about you and that you're loved and everything like that. But typically, it's the male that is missing out of the household. There are some single fathers, and I applaud them very much so, because there are young ladies, little girls, who need to be told and shown how to love themselves, how to respect themselves, and different things like that, what to accept and not to accept. And no slight on the single moms, but there is something that a man does for a little girl and a little boy that a mother, no matter how hard she tries, she can't do it. There's like this light switch that goes on. So I think it has a lot to do with, I know on yesterday, I was speaking with someone, and they're a domestic violence survivor, and they were sharing with me that it starts with the language first. It starts with the language. And if you're not looking at the red flags on how their language is, like, okay, man, you ain't never going to be nothing. What? You ain't never going to be nothing. You can't do nothing right. All of that type of negative talk and tearing a person down, that is a red flag right there. And some people feel like that's the only way that they're loved, and that's unfortunate, because there's so much love out here, and somebody that wants to love somebody, but because of what society says and what society thinks, for some reason their words and their actions are way more important than a person knowing who they are. So I just think that there are more abusive relationships going on than what's reported, because a lot of people don't think that verbal abuse is abuse. But I want to say, like, a few years ago, I was told that you can see an emotion, you can see a scar, and a physical scar heals, but it takes years, decades, however long, to heal from a verbal or an emotional scar, because words have power. Yes, those bruises, they hurt, but words have power at the end of the day.
Also, to cap on what Regina just said, to normalize any level of abuse is never okay. Never okay at all. And what you're witnessing is, this is a emotional, psychological, physical, different levels of trauma that a person has to undo and peel back the layers upon layers. They have witnessed and been exposed to these matters, whether it's through generational, and then also, they're going to find or try to find that kind of love outside of the house. Like I always tell my individuals and my platform, that everything starts at home, and a lot of times, some parents rely on, for example, teachers in the school system, and then it's not their responsibility. But teachers in the school system are only there to teach. Why do they have to be teacher and parent and disciplinarian at the same time for your children? That's wrong. You know, they have to have that form of responsibility at home as well. And the only way they're going to do it is you've got to start from scratch. And that comes from just knowing how to love yourself. And that also means you've got different levels of love languages, you know, whether it's through affirming the person, through words. You know, I'm a firm believer in words do have power. You know, there is life in words, not death. You know, we're trying to become part of the solution and not part of the continuing problem that we have here in our society today. So I think that's very important for an individual to know where the roots of those traumas come from and why they feel what they feel, and to think that to normalize the situation is okay, and absolutely no, period.
Well, I noticed that Neil don't got nothing to say. It's probably because he done caused so much abuse in life. The other side.
I'm just listening. Like I've never been in an abusive relationship. Neither was I the abuser. So, however, I have witnessed some abusive behavior. A lot of times, I've seen like a lot of stuff, just in children, really. Yeah, I think sometimes that gets, when people think about abusive relationships, that gets bypassed. They don't think about how like parents talk to their kids sometimes and cuss them out and saying you ain't this and you ain't that. That sometimes creates an abuser or somebody that's going to be more prone to being abused. So just, yeah, but I've never like endured it, you know, on a personal level. So
yeah, I understand that. I mean, I guess what I'm hearing across the board from all of us is that, you know, I mean, I guess this is something I've just been reiterating over and over again anyway, is that there's just so much responsibility when it comes to being a parent. You know, there's so much that we need to be instilling in our children from the beginning to avoid this whole thing, right? To avoid being abusers or even being abused. I mean, you know, I guess I haven't really personally thought about like what were the reasons why I stayed in my quote unquote abusive relationship that I was in. I think more so I was just trying to be I guess a light for that person, because, you know, I understood they might have went through some things in their past and stuff like that. So I guess I was just trying to be, you know, loyal and just kind of show my love by being understanding of that individual. And it just seemed like he never could understand me or never attempted to, or in the process of our dating just, you know, wanted to tear me down in different ways. Maybe not meaning to or whatever, but if that's what you're doing, I mean, that's what it is. There's nothing else to call it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, parents, you know what I mean? We got to get on our jobs, parents. I mean, I think I'm the only one that's a parent on this call here. But, or y'all, nobody else.
Look, it takes a village. So, you know, you might not be a parent, but you still, you know, I think everybody kind of like take part in the development of some child at some form or point in their life. So everybody can do a better job. I just feel like whatever you're doing, I'm pretty sure we all can be doing it better. So, right.
I agree with Neil on that as well too. You know, any male figure has that responsibility, and I think everybody's aware, you know, that they must play their part and the factor of really coming together to helping children to know who they are, you know, on a day-to-day basis. It's very important for them to know that they are loved, that they are of greatness. They have to know their history, where they come from, and all these things. There was a quote from one of my favorite abolitionists, which is Frederick Douglass. I'm going to paraphrase it. I don't know the whole thing verbatim, but he said, it's better to raise children as a whole than to repair broken men. And that's a process within itself, because it's going to take some time for the individual who is broken, or they have come to the recognition that they have been broken, whatever that they've been through. It's going to take time for them to undo the damage that has been done. You know, a lot of times, if you just pay attention to our communities, society in America, or just on a global scale, you know, everybody say that they want peace, they want love, they want equality, they want joy, they want all these different things, but they're not willing to go inside of themselves to do the internal work to cultivate and to produce this peace, this love, this happiness, this joy.
Because your love has set me free. I'm alive.
There's no time to get my nails done. Oh, I know. I went to unwindselfcare.com and got my 100% nail polish strips. Thanks, Unwind Self-Care.
Well, it's that time you guys have been waiting for. It is time for Bites with Bro Bros.
We back at it again.
Of course, here is Chef Derek with Bro Bros Catering, and today he is showing us a brunch. Okay, now I don't know if you guys know, but Chef Derek and I, we're going to be teaming up to create some quarantine experiences for you all. So if you want to have like a date night at your house, or a small party for 10, check out this what Chef Derek has for us today, so you guys can see what we can bring to you. And we're going to be pairing it with none other than a wine featured on miracleofwine.com. This is the Fact Chardonnay. We're going to pair that meal with this right here. But tell us what we got today, Mr.
So, since I had the inside scoop and I knew you had this Fact Chardonnay today, I wanted to make sure I got something that would pair really nicely with your wine.
Okay.
I know I used to love the bottles of wine I used to get from you a couple years back. So when you mentioned to me that you were doing this again, I was super excited. So this pairing is going to be amazing. Okay. So this Chardonnay is going to go well with a light or mild in flavor item. So what I chose was shellfish. We're going with lobster.
Ooh.
So this is like a little quick brunch. We've got a lobster on a bed of eggs, fluffy eggs, with a cucumber and tomato salad on the side. It's going to be light and fresh and fun. That cucumber and tomato salad is going to give you a nice little kick. It's got some herbs in there. It's got some vinegar for a punch, some spices. So it's well rounded, is what I would like to think. And then that lobster, I don't know if you all could see that tail, but it is bathed in butter and herbs and garlic and love, because it's a family thing.
Okay. So hey, keep us in mind for those quarantine date nights or anything like that, because we can bring the wine to you. We can give you a whole wine tasting, as well as I already know this meal is going to be great. I already know.
A nice chilled glass of Chardonnay, accompanied by a seasoned lobster on a bed of eggs and tomato and cucumber salad.
Hey, cheers. So, what you think of that?
Oh, that is nice. That is good. And I'm not a big Chardonnay fan, but like I said, I was so excited when she mentioned to me that she had wines again and I could get them from her. You know what I did? I placed my order, okay? So I got my red wine from her already, and I love it. Now this one, add this to next week's order, for sure.
Right. But let me check out this meal for the people. I know they want to know how this stuff over here tastes. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the lobster. Go ahead. You know, I know I could play around and just do the salad first, but I'm gonna go straight for the lobster.
Dig into that lobster. Get into
it.
It
looks like it is well seasoned. And is there some cheese on it? Oh no, that's just
butter. No, this is butter.
Okay. So I'm gonna get a little lobster, get a little egg for y'all. Let's see. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Y'all. You know what? I don't know, Red Lobster. I might not have to go to y'all to listen. If you could hook up some cheddar baked biscuits, then
we can do cheddar baked
done.
biscuits. We can do some lobster tail, cheddar baked biscuits, some nice asparagus. But what we're gonna do instead of the normal asparagus everybody like to do, everybody and their mother, we're gonna go with some white asparagus. I feel like it goes really, really well.
I don't think I ever heard of white asparagus.
Oh yeah, it's got a bit of a sweeter taste to me.
Okay.
So I think it goes well. I think that'll be great with the lobster. Do some crab legs, maybe some king crab.
Well, you know what? So I'm gonna have to just call you up next time I want some lobster.
Call me up. We do a boil. Yeah, we get it going.
Get some of this salad. My husband, he be making like a cucumber salad. Sorry for the backstage, baby. Obviously, he wants some too. I wonder if it's gonna be like his.
Everybody wants this lobster tail, y'all. I'm telling you, everybody wants the lobster. You can order it. Check it out. brubruscatering.com. You can get with Miracle. She knows how to get you in touch with me. We can come through and put together something really amazing for you and your loved one. And it doesn't even have to be a quarantine date night. It could just be a girl's lunch, brunch. Let's reward the fathers. We forget about them quite often. Let's get your man a steak and lobster, land and sea.
I feel like this is such a treat right now. Like I'm at some restaurant or something, and I'm just.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Hey,
that's the goal.
Friends, look out for us on the website, God, Sex, and Love. Thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
We gotta keep Bites with Bro-Bros around.
Looking forward to being around.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna enjoy. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I hope you do. Cheers. Be sure to tune in though next Friday at 11:30 p.m. where you can catch Miracle.
That has gone through any type of abuse, just understand that God loves you, understand that there are others that have gone through it too. And we hope that by us having this conversation, it helps you to not only, deal with what you went through, but then also just start to be open to discuss it. Because at the end of the day, holding on to things and not addressing things, it doesn't help anything at all. So I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. Thank you so much to the panel again for talking about this serious subject, and hope that you all have fun. In any ways, that there's just so much responsibility when it comes to being a parent. There's so much that we need to be instilling in our children from the beginning to avoid this whole thing, right? To avoid being abusers or even being abused. I mean, I guess I haven't really personally thought about like what were the reasons why I stayed in my quote unquote abusive relationship that I was in. I think more so I was just trying to be a light for that person, because I understood they might have went through some things in their past and stuff like that. So I guess I was just trying to be, loyal and just kind of show my love by being understanding of that individual. But then it just seemed like he never could understand me, or never attempted to, or in the process of our dating just wanted to tear me down in different ways, maybe not meaning to or whatever, but if that's what you're doing, that's what it is. There's nothing else to call it. So yeah, parents, we got to get on our jobs, parents. I think I'm the only one that's a parent on this call here, but are y'all? Nobody else.
Well, it takes a village. So you might not be a parent, but you still, I think everybody kind of like take part in the development of some child at some form or point in their life. So everybody can do a better job. I just feel like whatever you're doing, I'm pretty sure we all can be doing it better. So, right.
I agree with Neil on that as well too. Any male figure has that responsibility, and I think everybody's aware, that they must play their part and the factor of really coming together to helping children to know who they are, on a day-to-day basis. It's very important for them to know that they are loved, that they are of greatness. They have to know their history, where they come from, and all these things. There was a quote from one of my favorite abolitionists, which is Frederick Douglass. I'm going to paraphrase it. I don't know the whole thing verbatim, but he said, "It's better to raise children as a whole than to repair broken men." And that's a process within itself, because it's going to take some time for the individual who is broken, or they have come to the recognition that they have been broken, whatever that they've been through. It's going to take time for them to undo the damage that has been done. A lot of times, if you just pay attention to our communities, society in America, or just on a global scale, everybody say that they want peace, they want love, they want equality, they want joy, they want all these different things, but they're not willing to go inside of themselves to do the internal work to cultivate and to produce this peace, this love, this happiness, this joy within themselves. Because you can't love nobody else until you actually love yourself through and through. So it's a process that many people say they want. When you really get into it, it's a beast. Serious. But you must be willing to do the work, to love yourself all the way through, and to no longer seek validation from others, and knowing if you have that relationship between you and your creator, nothing will ever stop you from loving on yourself and loving those around you.
That's good. Friends, I don't know if we have time to continue the conversation in regards to the dynamic between men and women, but maybe we'll save that for another day. But I just want to say thank you all so much for taking out the time to have this conversation with me. As we see, it's a serious topic, and I hope that this encourages all of you out there to have conversations as well with your friends and family about these tough subjects. So I'll go back in the order that I think I said you all in. So first, I'll start with Neil. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Regina, thank you for joining the conversation, and also Ronyai, thank you all as well for joining the conversation. And I look forward to chatting with you guys again real soon. All right.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
All right. I'll see you later.
This podcast has been brought to you in part by Inspirational Therapy Session Incorporated, inspiring teens since 2002.